Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girbharadhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girbharadhari Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Nana Braja Janaranjana Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Nanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Natira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe, Jaya Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Gaura Haribo, Taigo Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Veda Vyasadev ki. Bhaktivedanta Purports ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Tai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 15, Text 23. Right? King Prithu's appearance and coronation. That's the chapter title. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nasta Praisya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. All right, we're going to read text 23. Tasmat Parokshe Asmat Upashrutani Alam Karishyata Stotram Apichya Vachaha Sati Uttamashloke Guna Anuvade Jugushiptam Jugupshitam Na Stavayanti Sabya. That's it. Tasmat parok tasmat parokshe smad upashuttayan yalam smad parokshe smad upashuttani halam karishyata stotram apichya vacha karishyata stotram apichya vacha Satyutama sloka gunanavade Satyutama shloke gunahanuvahade Jugu shiptam nastayavanti sabaya Jugu Shitam nastavayanti sabaya Tasmat parokshesmat upasruttayan yalam Karishyata stotram apichya vachaha Sat uttama shloka gunahanuvahade Gunahanuvahade Jugupshitam nas Stavayanti sabaya Stavayanti sabaya. Ready? Tasmat parikshesmad uparishtayan yalam Karishyata stotram apichya vachaha Kai guna anuvahade Jugu shiptam nastavayanti sabaya Tasmat parakshasmad upasustayanayalam Karishyata stotram apichya vachaha Sat uttama shloka gunahanuvahade Jugu shiptam nastayayanti sabaya. Tasmat, therefore, parokshe, in some future time, asmat, my, upashrutani, about the quality spoken of, alam, sufficiently, karishyata, you will be able to offer, stotram, prayers, apichya vachaha, O gentle reciters, sati, being the proper engagement, uttama shloke, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, guna, of the qualities, anuvade, discussion, jugupshitam, to an abominable person, na, never, stavayanti, offer prayers, sabya, persons who are gentle. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O gentle reciters, offer such prayers in due course of time, when the qualities of which you have spoken actually manifest themselves in me. The gentle who offer praise to the Supreme Personal Godhead do not attribute such qualities to a human being who does not actually have them. Responsibly, O gentle reciters, offer such prayers in due course of time, when the qualities of which you have spoken actually manifest themselves in me. The gentle who offer praise to the Supreme Person of Godhead do not attribute such qualities to a human being who does not actually have them. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Gentle devotees of the Supreme Person of Godhead know perfectly well who is God and who is not. Non-devotee impersonalists, however, who have no idea what God is and who never offer praise to the Supreme Person of Godhead, are always interested in accepting a human being as God and offering such praise to him. This is the difference between a devotee and a demon. Demons manufacture their own gods, or a demon himself claims to be God, following in the footsteps of Ravan and Hiranyakashipu. Although Prithu Maharaj was factually an incarnation of the Supreme Person of Godhead, he rejected those praises because the qualities of the Supreme Person were not yet manifest in him. He wanted to stress that one who does not actually possess these qualities should not try to engage his followers and devotees in offering him glory for them, even though these qualities might be manifest in the future. If a man who does not factually possess the attributes of a great personality engages followers in praising him with the expectation that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumalitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyahevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this King Prithu, which is being discussed in these verses, was the son of King Vena, who was the previous king, as we heard, was very bad king. He was, to an extent, he was so bad that they decided to do away with him, the Brahmanas, the intellectual, and they thought, no, this king is no good, he's not bringing any good results to the kingdom, and there's all inauspiciousness, there's no rainfall, there's famine, the crops are not growing. So generally when these things happen, that means the leader takes the karma for that. The leader of the country or the society or whatever, the president, the king, the leader, he gets the reaction for that. And if he's a good king, then whatever is good comes out of that, he also gets the benefit of that. So therefore this previous king was very, very bad. He was so bad. So when King Prithu was born, and immediately they wanted to give him the throne, they wanted to put him in power, but he was very young, very inexperienced, very naive, as he's speaking here about the power that was invested in him. He wasn't sure if he was capable of. Yet he was described as an incarnation of the Supreme. Avesh is an Avesh incarnation. But still he had some reservations that the people are prematurely praising me. Of course, they were saying, you're going to be a powerful king, and they were glorifying him, they were doing all kinds, worshipping him. But he wasn't prepared to accept that. He wasn't. He says, no, this is very premature. What if I don't produce results? What's going to happen? So this is, very we can see the quality of, he's a devotee of the Lord. One of the qualities of a devotee is that he's amanitvam, very humble. Humility of a great person is his humility. And Prabhupada defines humility. Anybody knows Prabhupada's definition of humility? Yes? Yes? In Bhagavad Gita, in the purport, 13th chapter, Prabhupada says, humility means not to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. What? Not to have the satisfaction of being honored by, generally in the material world, we do something great, we want praise, isn't it? We want our name in the headlines. You want a statue of you. You want people must sing your glories, glorify you. But that is not humility. Real humility is defined here as not to have the satisfaction of being honored by others, same time giving full honor to others, giving full respect to. This is the definition of humility. So we must cultivate these wonderful qualities of, and Krishna, he gives that as one of the qualities of knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita is there. Not to have the satisfaction of being honored by them. So this king is praying like that. He says, I don't want this. I'm not ready for it yet, but it's all premature. It's all premature. But yet we know he's destined to be a great, and the sadhus, the great, they could see this. He had the qualities, he had the prowess, he had the Shakti to become a great king. But he was not prepared to accept that at that stage. But as we know later, as the chapters go, that he grew up to be one of the great kings, one of the great leaders of the whole world, benefited by that. Actually, the whole planet, because of his not just one country, but the whole planet. So this is the Shakti a great leader can bring, can be a defining factor in the overall of the country, of the whole universe. Actually, you see, presently there's not much such. We can't see such leaders, and what leaders we see, they are described in the Bhagavatam, second canto. I was looking at it last night. I'll read these verses here. This is Sukadev Goswami was describing such leaders in the Bhagavatam. It says Kirata. No, not that verse, sorry. 3. Oh, it's a wrong book I'm looking at. That's here. It's here in chapter 2. 2-3. Where did it go? Coming there. Yeah. Sorry for the... Swavidvaraha ostra karai samstuta purisha pashu nayat karna pato peta jatu nama gadaraja. So he's saying like that, men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna and the deliverer from evils. Prabhupada says in the purport, very nice purport he gives in this. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life and spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they've particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away, informed of no vacancy. We see that, isn't it? Either you're too qualified to get the job or you unqualified. You can go with your PhD or master's degree. There's no job. No. And yet you work so hard, isn't it? Studied so hard, spent so much of energy, resources. So they're describing such persons like the mentality of dogs, isn't it? Who go from door to door, like a dog goes, isn't? And the dog is chased away, but still it comes back, isn't? It still comes back. But same time, the dog is a very menial servant. Works very, serves the master. And there's another, Jai Sri Sri Radharanath Ki. So they're describing such persons with that, not that they are dogs, but they have the mentality of lower creature, like a dog. Yes, the mentality, the consciousness has gone down to the level of dogs. They are human beings, but they have the consciousness of lower, like dogs. Yes. As dogs are negligible animals and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves the master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stool. You know what's a hog? Pig. A pig. Pigs are very much attached to eating stool. So stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatables for a particular type of animal or bird. You know such bird who eats stones, and there's an ostrich can eat anything. Screws, nails, anything. It can digest it, has that ability. Even stones are eatables for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with 2 canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuffs from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruit, etc. Bhagavad Gita 9:26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, and no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to derive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. So it's a kind of myth or fallacy. You know, the doctors even tell you, you have to eat some meat to get some protein. But that's not true. That is not true. If you look at the elephant, he's a vegetarian. And he's always, you look at the rhino, the hippopotamus, they are vegetarians. They're not eating. But they don't need to eat. So we are not meant to eat that kind of food also. Unmentionables. Then another type of animals is a camel. So we do the dog, hog, camel. The camel is the kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. Camels are mostly in the desert and there's not much they can get in terms of, so they eat thorns. And the thorn actually cuts into the teeth. And the blood and the saliva, they think this is very nice. They think it is very nice, eating thorn. So persons who want to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations, just to make the best use of a bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is no such more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns which the camel cuts the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns mixed with fresh blood create a taste for the foolish camel, and he enjoys the thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways and questionable means, eat the thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these diseased fellows along with the camels. The ass is an animal we celebrated as the greatest fool, the donkey, ass. Even amongst the animals, the ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for itself. The ass is generally, Prabhupada continues on notes, the ass does not know his self-interest and it works very hard for others only. A person who works very hard for others, only forgetting his personal interest is available in human form of life, is compared to the ass. And Prabhupada quotes from another, we have Brahma Vaivata Purana. Human life is so important that even the demigods in the higher planets sometimes aspire for a human body on this earth, because in the human body only can one easily go back to Godhead. In spite of having obtained such an important body, if one does not reestablish his lost eternal relationship with Govinda, Lord Krishna, he is certainly a fool who has forgotten his self-interest. The human form of material body is obtained by a gradual process of evolution to one body after another in the cycle of 8,400,000 varieties of life. And the poor man, forgetting this importance for his own interests, involves himself in so many illusory engagements for uplifting the position of others as a leader of political emancipation and economic development. There is no harm in trying for political emancipation or economic development, but one should not forget his real aim of life. All such philanthropic activities must be dovetailed to returning to Godhead. One who does not know this is compared to the ass who works only for others without or for his own welfare in mind. So naturally, these people endowed with these, with these qualities mentioned here of the dogs, hogs, camels, and ass, and they look for people of the same caliber and vote for them. To imagine you having such leaders in society in the mentality of, and this is what happens. And where's my notes? Yeah. My pocket. Lost it. I dropped those notes. Anyway, I made some notes, but I can't find them now. Yeah, so this King Prithu, he doesn't want to be like a leader like that. He wants to be qualified. He wants, by his estimation, not by some other's estimation of himself. He wants to prove himself as a leader, as a real leader who can really bring people to a higher level of consciousness. And that is a leader who can deliver people. He says a leader who is not God conscious, he says, it's very heavily mentioned in the Bhagavad, in a very harsh way, that they are like rascals, or they are no better than animals, especially leaders that we look up to who have no godly qualities. What can we expect from them? We see how they promote so many types of kind of activities that are called Ugra Karma. You heard this word? Ugra karma means useless activities. And they spend so much of resources, billions of dollars. And what do they create? Some sophisticated ballistic nuclear weapons. And what is the end result of that? Destruction, isn't it? To control, they want power. And right now we see that also presently. There's two superpowers, they're holding the world to ransom. They're holding the whole world to ransom. And we see, as a result of that, the whole world is suffering. There's sanctions and there's so many things are happening, isn't it? So many people are dying. We can say they're innocent, but they all become collateral damage. In war is like that. When war starts, sometimes Prabhupada said war is necessary when when good arguments fail. Like in the Mahabharata, that war, he said, they were trying so hard, Krishna was trying so hard to talk peace to the Kauravas. But he said, war was necessary because good arguments failed. When good arguments fail, then war is necessary. So therefore we see that in today's times this is so destructive, isn't it? They created a kind of what we call a humbug society. A humbug society that is not very inauspicious. They've created so much inauspiciousness and creating or establishing slaughterhouses to kill innocent animals. That's one of the biggest sins of the world, of these leaders who promote such killing, especially the cows. And therefore, Mother Nature has to act in certain ways to combat that, to counteract that sinful activities. And there has to be a balance. So sometimes she reacts in very harsh ways. Wars start, volcanic eruptions, all these are famine, drought, climate. You see, climate change. People, it's all the result of this, and because we have demons in power. They are controlling, and they are holding, and they are controlling like a cartel. There's a few powerful men who run the whole world. You know this? Big bankers. They have all the money in the world. They can control even a simple thing like bread and butter. There's a price, fixed price, and yet so much goes to waste when it goes to waste. It's thrown in the ocean, dumped. Like one time we had millions of tons of butter were dumped because they could not get the price for it. Imagine that. Butter thing and what to speak of so many other things. Now we can't get even like grains, like rice. It's all become a very expensive commodity. Things like simple things like corn. Sometimes the big stores they can't supply because they can't get. The demand is there, but there's no supply because these countries are holding them to ransom. Yes, they use it as a trump card. Play this as a trump card. Similarly, they do that with people. They kidnap people and hold them to ransom. Isn't? Now we see that, isn't this? It's there. These all demons are running this world. And there has to be some kind of change. There has to be some change. So in this mood of humility, a leader has to have that humility, not to be praised, not to have the satisfaction being praised by others, because it goes to the head. When people glorify you, the tendency it will go to your head, become inflated with false ego. Isn't this what happens? Overinflated ego, and it just disturbs your mind, make you make decisions that can be very when Srila Prabhupada went to the first time he landed in Boston Harbor, he was completely, old man. He was very elderly. And he knew nobody. He's coming on a ship for 21 days on the ship. He survived 2 heart attacks. But he had this mission. He came with a mission. He was empowered by his guru. But he prayed with such humility. Krishna, I have no qualifications. He's praying like that. I have no qualification. I'm in a foreign land. I don't know nobody. I have no money. You can make me dance. I'm a puppet in your hands. He's praying with such humility. He's praying for empowerment by Krishna. Please, you guide me. So this is the leader. This is the caliber of leaders we want, that keep this false ego, this ahankar, that we give it up. Unfortunately today, it is democracy. This is what democracy does. Prabhupada called that democracy demon crazy. By vox popular vote, some leader gets elected by popular vote. And if they don't like him, they will canvass him out again, politic him out, and bring one rascal, another rascal to lead. And this is what we see, isn't it? In the name of democracy, all over the world. All over the world is like that. But in the time 5,000 years ago there was a king. And these kings were known as Raja Rishis, very saintly. Like Lord Ram is described as Raja Ram. Raja, king. And he was a very capable king, very, very powerful king. And the people were happy. People were very happy. Yes. So Bhagavatam speaks of many great leaders like that. Maharaj Parikshit, yes, King Prithu, we hear of his glories. King Rishabdev, another king, incarnation of the Lord. King Rishabdev had 100 sons. He had 100 sons, and he was very enlightened. And he told his sons, don't waste your time in household life. Don't get married. Practice penances. Tapo divyam. Tapo divyam. In the instruction he gave them. Tapo divyam. Divine penance. Practice penances, austerities, and go back home, back to Godhead. Which father will tell his sons that? Generally we'll be encouraged. He said, go get a life. You're big enough now, go and get married. get out of the house. Isn't like that? But here's a king who's enlightening, a very enlightened king. He's telling his sons not to get married. Don't waste your life like hogs and dogs. Sex life is available for all. It's easily available for the hogs and dogs. Not that in human life, it's there, it's restricted, there's restriction. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Kamosmi. Kamosmi. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. That means it's there, but for the procreation of good children. Not like you bring children like cats and dogs and they become Varana Sankara, unwanted, isn't it? To become a menace to society like that. No, we have to progeny that will be beneficial, like in the caliber of King Prithu, that will be very beneficial to the society. It will be not a burden, but a boon to society that people will look up to. Yes, will speak of his glories uh, even after he's gone, they will glorify such. Like they speak of Ram, they want the government of Ram Raj. People still speak about that in India. They want Ram Raj, a government like Ram's time. Yeah, they still want that. Swaraj. That. So yeah, so King Prithu is all premature. All this glorifying of me is premature. Yet we know, and they know that he's capable. He has the capabilities because he's not just some upstart. He is the incarnation of the Lord. Avesh is like empowered incarnation of the Lord. So naturally he will deliver. But he was being very humble, not accepting the praises. This is all too early. Let me prove myself. But nowadays we don't get that. Isn't everybody wants, whether they qualified or not, they want power. They want that power. Whether they qualified or not, they want to be in that position of power. So yeah, this is a guide for us to take. Bhagavatam is if leaders could take shelter of Bhagavatam, read Bhagavatam. Present day leaders should take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam and take the message of this Bhagavatam very seriously. Then there'll be so much auspiciousness. There'll be so much auspiciousness in this world. Instead of every day the newspapers, the television is just filled with all very drab, dreadful things. Because people are bored. People are bored, they want sensation. People are so bored, and then they look at their lives as so meaningless. And they want to hear, others are sharing the same. and then they kind of feel happy. Oh yes, they're also suffering, so I don't feel so bad. There's also, they just, sensation they want to see. Yes, and all these medias, they make so much of money. They just every day feeding people with this negative media. Instead of the media should be full of how to become Krishna conscious. With Kali, in this present age, this Kali Yuga, the personality Kali is ruling. He is presently prominent wherever the media is, wherever the newspapers, wherever we go around, slaughterhouses, where there's auspicious things going on. That means the personality Kali is very much prevalent. Is prevalent. So we need what we need to stem the tide of this Kali Yuga. And that is not impossible. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the latter day appearance of Lord Chaitanya came to combat that. In a very simple process, how they can eradicate or gradually stem the tide of this Kali Yuga and bring auspiciousness again to this world. People want to be happy. People want to be free from anxiety. There's so much of anxiety, stress, misery, isn't? And they think, yes, this is the end of the world. But Krishna is reminding us in Bhagavad Gita also that this material world is not a place for us. Dukkalayam, ashashvatam, he's saying like that. This place is, it's not only this place, it's even the higher planets, like Satyalok, Brahmaloka. They're all places of birth and death and misery, and they are miserable and they are temporary. Every time we are governed, time is relative. In this earth, in the higher planets, time is relative. Our time here and the time of the demigods and Lord Brahma is vastly different. Our 100 years compared to Brahma's 100 years, or the demigods, is vastly different. Time is relative. accordingly. But still, it is, by purview of time, there'll be destruction, even in the higher planets. So Krishna is saying, even there, don't even go there. Don't even desire to go there. Get away completely from, go to the spiritual world. And he describes the spiritual world. So we have to aspire for that and take the message of Bhagavatam very seriously. In that way, our life will become auspicious and meaningful. Meaningful. Not that we think now we have to engage. The nature of the soul is an active principle. We cannot stifle the nature. We have active nature. By nature, man is a social animal, and he has to do something. Isn't? We cannot act for a moment without doing anything. It is an active principle, the soul, but the soul has to be engaged in a way that will take him out of the material nature, which is familiar with. He's coming from the spiritual nature. We are coming from that nature. We have a spiritual source, but we're coming to the material world, which is kind of foreign to us, incompatible. Prabhupada said when the spirit soul comes in contact with the material body, it's an incompatible situation. Incompatible. Conflicting. But the soul becomes incarcerated in material consciousness. Although it's coming like water is pure. When water is coming down in the mountain, high in the mountains, and as it comes down to the soil, it takes on the color of becomes dirty, isn't? But by purification we can revive that to pure. So likewise, we are tainted with material consciousness, but at the same time we can also uncondition that and come to pure consciousness by the process. There's a process, and that process is through Krishna consciousness. And if leaders take to that, then yes, this world will be much, much better place. Yeah. Not that we want to stay and be attached, but at least it'll be more bearable, isn't it? Yeah, we kind of bombarded with the threefold miseries. What is the threefold miseries? One feature is the heat, isn't it? Especially in the summer. We're in the tropics, and we have this. Midsummer is crazy. Today it's like 35. But other places also, like in India, summer is, it's like in the 40s, 50s. It goes up to there. One time I was traveling in Delhi, and I arrived in Delhi at 6 o'clock in the morning. And this is like around June time. India is summer. And it's already showing 34 degrees. 6 o'clock in the morning, it is showing 34 degrees. Imagine what's going to be like midday. It was crazy. You can't sleep. You put the fan on, and it's blowing hot air. You open the taps, hot water is coming out of the cold water tap. It's just miserable. And that should remind us of this material world, to get out of here. Get out of this place. So these threefold miseries are there to make us not to become attached. Eat, of course, then there's cold. Then there's the business of this body, the kleshas of this. We get a body that gives us problems. Body is made to give you problems. It's made. It's like a machine. Made to give you. Then you have mind problems. Nowadays there's so many debilitating diseases there. Alzheimer's, memory loss, Parkinson's disease, all is of the brain. cancer. And we think, yes, we will be happier. That's the illusion. That's illusion. That we make the best use of a bad bargain. Unless we make the best use of a bad bargain. The bad bargain is we got this material body, and how to make the best use of it. And that is to take the message of the Bhagavatam very seriously. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Trick me that, no? That's my, oh. That's mine. Thank you for listening. That's my book. Yeah. No, what to my notes I made. Somewhere I dropped it. In my top pocket. Dira.